So what is coast-fire? Coast-fire is what's known as coasting to financial independence by aggressively front-loading their investment contributions and then letting the investments work their magic in the market so that you can coast into your retirement. And keep in mind that this is not an early retirement strategy at all. So I rather call it a coast-fi instead of coast-fire. And I'll go over the pros and cons later on in this video. But first, let me show you how it works. You need to first figure out how much you're looking to spend when you reach your retirement age. Let's say you want to retire at the age of 55 and your annual expenses will be $60,000 a year. If you multiply 60,000 by 25, you're going to need at least 1.5 million invested by the time you turn 55. You're also going to need to have at least 2 years of expenses set aside in an emergency fund for your retirement. So that's an additional 120,000 for cash. So that's a total of 1.62 million for the fire number in this example, okay? Second, you need to know what investment vehicles you can use for your coast fire number. The type of investment vehicles will also depend on your retirement age. If you want to be on coast fire and you're not looking to retire until 55 years old, then you can use your 401k, 403b, 457 or TSP to invest that 1.62 million under the rule of 55. If you're not looking to retire until you're 60 years old, then you could include both your 401k and Roth IRA for your 1.62 million coast-fi strategy or calculation. But if you're looking to retire before the age of 55, then you should only use a taxable brokerage account for the 1.62 million coast-fire because you're not going to be eligible to withdraw from your 401k or Roth IRA just yet. So let's take a look at the coast-fire calculator. Let's say your coast fire number is 1.62 million at age 25 years old, right? And you're looking to retire by the age of 55. We'll just go with that. Now I'm going to do the 7% average annual return, which is at a very conservative level. If you're not doing coast fire and you just want to invest on a regular basis, you would need to invest at least $15,000 a year from the age of 25 to the age of 55 to have $1.6 million. And that's assuming that your savings rate remains the same at $15,000 a year for 30 years with a 7% average annual return. But the idea of coast fire is to actually front load your investment contributions at the beginning so that you can reduce your savings rate in the last half of your coast fire journey. So instead of $15,000 a year, let's change that to $1,800 a month or $21,600 a year. And then you just stop contributing after you turn 40 years old or 15 years into your journey. So starting at the age of 41, you're just not going to put anything into the stock market just to have your stock market carry your investments to 1.6 million here by the time you turn 55 years old. So this works out great if you have a long time horizon because time is on your side, right? Your numbers could be much higher if your time horizon is narrower or your retirement age is much sooner than 55 years old. You'll have to play with the numbers and see where you are with your financial journey. So in this scenario, your coast-fi target number is age 40 at $644,000 so that you can coast into your retirement to 1.6 million by the time you turn 55 years old. So what do you think is better? Investing $500 a month, making 10% return, or investing $1,000 a month, making a 7% return on investment? You can't figure out how much you can invest without a budget. There's no way around it. I personally tested out the budgeting app called YNAB, and it's not just an app that can track your income and expenses, but it can even help you create a plan to pay down your student loans, car loans, personal loans, or credit cards a lot faster. So if you're ready to change your life by getting out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle, you can get a free trial without any credit card information by using the link in the description below. So let me go over the pros and cons of doing the coast-fi strategy. First, the idea behind coast-fi is to invest a large sum of money as quickly as possible so that your money will grow over time. It is actually extremely easy to calculate compared to the other fire strategies. At a certain point in time, you can theoretically stop investing and let the portfolio grow itself. And two, if you're in your 20s or early 30s, you have more time on your side to invest less amount to hit your coast-fi number. And three, once you reach your coast-fi number, You have the choice to stop contributing or contribute less than what you did. You get to have more money to keep to yourself to enjoy your life by buying things that you want. The idea of coast-fi is to work hard to invest more now so that you can enjoy spending money later on while you're still working. And by the time you're 60 years old, you should have more than enough to live on your investments if you're being very careful about your allocation and withdrawal strategies. And four, reaching coast-fi might give you the confidence to consider another career or start a business because you have achieved financial independence early. You won't worry as much about leaving a high paying job when you have the investments to have your back. If you continue to stay with your current job, then you're going to have continued access to healthcare, which will save you a lot of money, right? But there are significant downsides to doing the coast-fi strategy. First, you or anyone else cannot predict how the stock market will perform in the next 30 years. Your future returns are never guaranteed. So you're just counting on the interest and earnings to grow your investments if you're close to hitting your coast-fi number. And the market goes through a long-term recession, then you might need to invest longer and much more to hit your fire number. You might even have to delay your retirement because the market didn't perform as well as the example of 7% I showed you earlier. And two, you're going to need to invest significantly more in your early days to hit your coast-fi number. This is generally for people who have higher incomes and lower expenses initially. You have to figure out how much you need to invest annually in order to hit that fire number. If you make less than $70,000 a year, then it might be pretty difficult to achieve unless your expenses are less than 50% of your gross income. And three, if you are looking to retire before the age of 55, you're going to need to invest significantly more in the taxable brokerage account, which could prevent you from maximizing your retirement contributions like the 401k or Roth IRA. If you don't earn a significant amount of income every year, that's going to be an issue, right? And not making enough contributions to your 401k or Roth IRA could put you in a higher tax bracket during your retirement. If you fail to reach your coast-fi number due to economic downturns and market fluctuations, you could end up regretting skipping out on your 401k and Roth IRA contributions. And these are the investment vehicles I always recommend maxing out if you want to have some kind of a backup plan going into your 60s if you fail to achieve fire. And not to mention skipping out on the market dips after you reach your coast-fi number, it could be devastating. And the stock market will always go up and down at any given time. If you completely stopped your contributions because you believe you hit your coast-fi number, you might be missing out on a significant discount on the stock market if you elect to stop all contributions. And what if the stock market just remains flat for the next 10 years? That could be a lost decade that we don't know about. So that's something that you want to think about and the risks before you start doing the coast-fi strategy. So just remember that coast-fi is not an early retirement strategy. If you like the coast-fi concept, you first need to know how much you need to invest every year to hit your coast-fi number. Second, you need to know at what age you're looking to retire. You also need to know your annual expenses for your retirement budget. You also need to adjust by inflation every year from now until your retirement age. Your 1.6 million today is not going to be the same as 1.6 million 30 years from now. Make sure to understand the risks that you're taking by solely relying on the stock market performances. What would you do if we go through a severe and long-term recession like we did in 2000 and 2008, or a lost decade? It is important to stress test your portfolio at least once a year.